Welcome to Success Tips with Tope Orolu. My name is Tope Orolu and I'm your host on this platform. The Success Tips platform has been designed to help us with information, with knowledge and ideas that will help us to succeed in life and make maximum impact. In this episode, I will be talking to us about a very important principle or law of success, which I've called the law of intentionality, being intentional. Very important. To succeed, you have to be intentional. Success will not happen unless you are intentional about success. To be intentional is to be on purpose, is to be deliberate, is to be in charge, to be present, is to take control and take responsibility for your success, for your business, for your project, for your career. Being intentional means you intentionally set out to achieve a specific outcome or result that is important to you. Being intentional is about bringing focus and attention to what you are involved in, to the project, to the business, to the career, to the family. If you want to succeed maximally, you've got to be intentional. There's no option. You've got to be intentional. You've got to be deliberate. You've got to make sure that your time and your resources are committed on purpose. Being intentional is about being on purpose. It's about thinning out distractions, avoiding distractions. There are usually, many things that tend to want to distract us, especially when we set goals or we set objectives that we want to accomplish. But if you want to succeed, if you want to be productive and achieve good success, you have to be deliberate. You have to be intentional. You have to be on purpose. A lot of people just allow things to happen to them, happen to their businesses, and that's not the way to succeed. You've got to make up your mind to be intentional about your goals, about your objectives. That's very, very important. All right. So the law of intentionality says if you want to succeed, you have to be intentional about it. Now, let me give us some ways or some tips that can help us to become more intentional in case you have not been very intentional with your business. I'm going to give us some tips. The first tip is to be clear on the results you want and then on your goals. If you want to be intentional, you've got to be clear. You've got to be specific. You've got to be certain about the results that you want, about the results that you want to accomplish, about the objectives that you want to accomplish with either your business, your career, or your project. You've got to be clear. That's the first key that will help us to become intentional. You've got to be very, very certain and clear on your goals. The second thing that will help us to become more intentional is to have values and define your values. You must have values. You must ensure that your decisions, your choices are guided by those values. It's not enough to have values. You've got to live within those values. You can have values like, being timely. You can have values of excellence. You can have values of not being late, for meetings. You can have values that emphasize, frugality and prudence, accountability. These are values that you must define. All right. So if you want to be on purpose, you want to be intentional, you've got to define your values and live within those values. Allow those values to guide your conduct, guide your decisions and choices at all times. The third thing that will help us to live and be more intentional is to be purposeful with your time. You've got to be purposeful with your time. No waste of time. You've got to ensure that your time and are spent on established schedules. You can have daily routines. You can have daily schedules that will help you to make the best use of your time. Time management is very important if you want to be intentional. Another key, which I think is the fourth key, is to find your passion. Find your passion. If you're not passionate about your business, about your goal, about your career, sometimes it might be tough to be intentional about it. All right. So if you want to be intentional, ensure that you're pursuing what you are passionate about. You must have the reasons why you want to achieve those objectives. Find out the why. Why do I want this thing done? How badly? Why? You got to be passionate about your goals and about your objective. The fifth key is to focus on what is important. You must learn to focus on what is important. Learn to say no to distractions and focus on what is important. Very, very important. Focus. And then the last but not the least key is to avoid distractions, especially in association, in relationships. Avoid relationships that act as drawbacks or distractions, relationships that don't help you or are not, in line to help you to achieve your goals. You must find ways to either reduce them or completely eliminate those kind of relationships. These are very important, keys that will help us to become more intentional. All right. Being intentional also comes with some benefits. Apart from succeeding, apart from being more productive, being intentional will help and improve your self-confidence. The way you feel about yourself will be better, it will be improved when you become intentional. Being intentional will help us to find peace on our job, will help us to find meaning also in life, meaning in business, meaning in whatever we committed to and whatever project we're spending our time on. Being intentional is key to success in life. If you want to succeed, you've got to be intentional. This is very important, and please don't forget, make being intentional a priority. Don't just be a wandering generality. Be intentional with your business or with your project. I want to believe that you've learned one or two things from this episode, and I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. And I wish you good success. And I say, God bless you.